guys, Dan here. I want to talk to you about how to leverage accounts that live inside of Domo for API calls and custom packages or functions you want to create in CodeEngine. Now what you can see here is the result of a conversation I had with ChatGPT where I asked it to write a function that could help me update cases in Salesforce. I've modified the URL and API version to be appropriate for us. Found that by looking in our Salesforce deployment. And you can see down here where the call is made, it wants to include a bearer token, right? And the comment from ChatGPT is replaced with your access token. I'm not an engineer. The trickiest thing for me when it comes to doing any of this stuff is how to handle authentication against these APIs. And we make it very easy with accounts inside of CodeEngine. If you look here on line 6, you can see I've added a constant for account, and I'm calling the getAccount method from CodeEngine. So we're saying, hey, the account is await get and CodeEngine.getAccount. And then I've got an empty string in here where we'll put our account, and then I'm logging it out. So what I'm going to do, just to give you an idea of how this works, I'm going to click on the little key and I'm going to add an account. I'm going to go ahead and grab Dan's Salesforce, and I'm going to call this FSDC. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now that account's here. Now that account shows up because I went into the data center and I created a connection to Salesforce. I created an account. It's either done by visiting the account in the data center or simply by creating a connector to that data source. So I've got that account here. So I'm going to reference the account alias in my code, CodeEngine.getAccount, SFDC, and I'm going to log the account details out. Now, I'm just going to comment out the bulk of my code here, so we're not actually updating any cases for our little video. But I want to show you what we get here. I'm going to go ahead and run this. I'll give it some value there. Really all we're doing is we're getting to the point where we're logging it out to the console. And obviously for security reasons, I'm going to have my guys obfuscate this, but you can see down here that the console shows a user ID, a name, a display name. Inside of that, there's a properties array that includes an access token, right? This is what's required for that authentication call. So what I've done here is, since we're storing that response as a variable, you can see in my code for authorization, I'm saying bearer, and I'm passing the account.properties.access token. This works flawlessly. Each of the different endpoints you interface with are going to require something different for authentication. In the case of Salesforce, it's an access token. What I wanted to show you today is how to leverage the Domo framework and the Domo connector library to make that authentication an absolute breeze. By logging the account out here, I've been pulling the account in with the getAccount method, logging it out in the development cycle. I'm able to see all the information that I need to understand exactly how to pass that access token in the API call. Spoiler alert, I tried it. It worked like a champ, and it worked the first time. Hopefully that's helpful as you're trying to create CodeEngine packages and functions that interface with bespoke systems outside of Domo. Looking forward to see all the cool things you get put together.